Finally, we have a question type that is actually relevant to real life, that actually tests your true English ability. And it's not the most important question. Sorry, guys. Let's go straight into respond to a situation. See you in a minute. Over. Okay. Hi everyone, it's Rena from Perth IELTS and PTE Tutoring. If you don't know me yet, I'm a private tutor based in Perth, Western Australia that specializes purely in IELTS, academic and general training, and PTE Academic. Today we're going to talk about PTE Academic respond to a situation. It is one of my favorite questions because it is real and quite often it is connect the situations that they describe are very, very relatable and it actually does test your English ability. So let's get straight into it. As usual, there'll be a toot and then some demonstrations. There are some serious limitations with the practicing platforms, and I will talk about them in a second. Righto, folks. So what will we cover in this toot? As always, I will give you all the required information about the question type, which is respond to a situation today. And then we will talk about how respond to a situation questions are scored. I will touch briefly on what the limitations of practice platforms like ApeUni, AlfaPTE, and all the other platforms are for this particular question type, and then we'll go through a couple of demonstrations using my method, which I understand might not be the chosen method for you. Okay? That's okay. You do what works best for you, all right? But I'm going to show you what would give you the highest scores. Okay? So let's talk about respond to a situation. What kind of question is it? An everyday scenario or situation will be presented to you, okay, in two forms, audio and in text, okay? This is important because you will be distracted by the fact that someone will be reading out loud the text to you, but you don't have to listen to that at all. I want you to concentrate on the text, okay? The text can be up to 60 words long. Once the audio finishes, you have 10 seconds of prep time, and then you have 40 seconds to speak. The microphone turns on, 40 seconds. Sweet spot for me would be 30 seconds or more. 32, 33 seconds would be perfect. Okay? You will have to repeat this question type 2 to 3 times in the test. It is the seventh speaking question and the final speaking question in part one. Okay? Let's talk about how to get a high score for it. Now, I need you to remember that this question type, although it is my favorite question type, I think it's a very useful question type. It is just worth 10% of your final score. Okay? It's not that important, but it is important for you to do it right because this is the one question type, Pearson, I'm talking to you, that actually assesses your English proficiency. Okay? You are assessed on content, 6 points, pronunciation, 5 points, oral fluency, 5 points. Your main aim is to get 16 points. Okay, everyone? So, what do we need? What do we need to get the highest score, which is 16, for each respond to a situation question? Right. For content, the minimum you can get is 0 and the maximum you can get is 6. How do we get a 6? Your response must deal with the situation effectively. All right? You must show that you can communicate with ease, flexibility, and precision while being situationally appropriate. Now, what does that mean, being situationally appropriate? It means that sometimes the prompt will include you talking to your friends, or to a flatmate, or to a study group mate. Sometimes the prompt could be you talking to a manager, to a professor, to a potential employer, right? The language you use needs to be situationally appropriate. If you're talking to your friends, you can be more casual. If you're talking to somebody you don't know, you need to be just that little bit more formal in your speech. Okay? And all of this will contribute towards your final score of content because obviously they can't assess it in any other parameter. All right? This is the other one I have noticed is if you expand far beyond the prompt, you will get higher marks for content. What does this mean? If you start just reading off the prompt and getting information off the prompt and not adding on any information of your own, you're not going to get a 6. But if you start to add a little bit of glitter and a bit of sparkle, just a little bit of extra, you could get that 6 pretty easily. Okay, next, we've covered pronunciation and oral fluency before. 5 and 5 for each of those things. Pronunciation. All vowels and consonants must be pronounced clearly and are easily understood by native speakers. Okay? Appropriate stress in words and sentences. This one, okay, different cultures, different stress. But in general, don't worry too much about this. As long as the AI can hear every consonant and every vowel and understands every word, you're good to go. Okay? Oral fluency. Now, this one, again, back in the day, we were all about our fluency. We are not all about fluency anymore. We are far more about content, aren't we? So, speech shows a smooth rhythm, a consistent, constant rhythm, and phrasing with no hesitations, no repetitions, and no false starts. For example, hi, Mr. Brown. Hi, Mr. Brown. Hi, Mr. Brown. No, it's hi, Mr. Brown, and straight into the topic. Okay, next. Now we're going to talk about a it's a small issue, but it's one that I've noticed among all the platforms. Okay, there are some small issues between the question types that you will find on ApeUni and Guruli and AlfaPTE and the question types that are found in the question bank. Okay, now I'm try and zoom in when you see this question type, but there are some issues. On the left hand side here, you can see some samples taken off ApeUni. On the right hand side, the bigger, longer paragraphs are taken from the PTE Academic question bank, which you can only get access to if you buy the third edition guidebook. Okay, if you look at the questions from ApeUni, you can see that they're pretty short. There's very little information in each of those questions. All right. For example, here it says your flatmates' visitors don't follow the rules, and your food in the fridge keeps disappearing. You need to talk to your flatmate about it. What will you say? Here's an example from the question bank. You booked a meeting room at the library from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. to work on a group project. Now it's just after 2 p.m. and your classmates will arrive soon, but some other students are sitting in the meeting room. What would you say to them? The prompt in the question bank, which obviously is much closer to the real exam, is much longer and there's far more detail. Whereas the prompts that you will find online on your practice platforms are much shorter. Here's another example. You forgot to bring the keys to your dorm and the door is locked, so you can't get in. You need to call the school management team and ask them to solve this problem. What should you say? Okay, so now let's look at another example of a phone call. So this one says you need to call the school management, and now let's see another one where you have to call a professor from the Pearson Question Bank. You have applied for a summer job as a research assistant to your professor. You have not heard if your application was successful and need to check with your professor so that you can organize accommodation for the summer if necessary. You want to leave a phone message for your professor. What would you say? Okay? And this is across the board. I have noticed that all the questions you will find on the practice platforms lack detail, whereas the questions from the sample bank, the question bank, have far more detail and are far easier to answer because there's more detail. Okay? So maybe it's to your benefit, but it's just something I need you to remember that when you're practicing on your practice platforms, that it is going to be slightly different on the test day. Okay? All right. So I missed a whole week, didn't I? A whole week. Life got in the way. I'm sorry. Okay, so today we're going to continue on with respond to a situation. I'm so sorry. I hope to get it out today, which is Monday the 17th. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. What is the technique for how to respond to a situation? You're going to do it the exact same way you would do it in real life. But there is a technique, obviously, because it's not real life. Step one, read the prompt. Okay? Don't wait for the audio to start playing. Begin reading the prompt as soon as the page loads. Okay? Start preparing your response. Don't worry at all about the audio playing in the background. All you're going to do is you're going to prepare your response. Use all the time you have to first understand the prompt and then move straight into preparation. My method includes a who, why, what, how, and ask method. Okay? Who are you meant to be speaking to? Why are you attempting to speak to them? What is the main point of why you are speaking to them? How the situation can be resolved? And you need to ask for what is required. You will always be told to ask for something. Okay? And then step four finally is you begin speaking as soon as the microphone turns on. You hear the beep. You directly address the person or the people you are speaking to. Okay? All you need to do is use the prompt that is right in front of you. You do not need to write separate notes. Okay? You just expand your response using the who, why, what, how, ask method. Let's take a look. Okay, so let's practice through with one. Okay, how to generate an appropriate response. So this is the sample taken from the official person question bank. It is, you can see that there's a lot of detail. All right? You have applied for a summer job as a research assistant to your professor. You have not heard if your application was successful and need to check with your professor so that you can organize accommodation for the summer if necessary. You want to leave a phone message for your professor. What would you say? Okay, so the who. Who do you need to speak to? The professor. Why do you need to speak to him? You need to find out about the summer job. What is the main point of why you need to speak to him? The summer job, you need to find out whether you got it or not because you need to organize accommodation. How is this going to be done? It's a phone message. That means you're not awaiting a response, you are leaving a phone message. And what are you going to ask for? You are going to ask the professor to get back with you with a response. That's it. It's a phone message. Okay? Let's move on. So, let's pretend you are on the phone, right? Who? Hi, Professor Smith. It's Rena, your Philosophy 22 student. I'm calling to find out about the summer research assistant role I applied for. I'm really hoping my application was successful. If I have been chosen, I really need to get started on organizing accommodation for the summer if none will be provided. I was hoping you could get back to me soon. I can be contacted at 555-0750 or you can even send me an email at allroundtutor@gmail.com. Thank you. Goodbye. Boop. Put the phone down. You're done. Submit. Okay? Shall we practice through a few demonstrations? Let's use both ApeUni and AlfaPTE. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm on my ApeUni platform. I've just enlarged it so it's easy for you to see. Let's go to respond to a situation. I have not got VIP currently, so fingers crossed I get lots of really nice questions. Ooh, party decline. Okay, right, so we don't wait for the recording to play at all. I'm just going to start speaking, okay? Your friend is having a birthday party this weekend and you have been invited. However, you need to complete an essay this weekend. How would you communicate to your friend that you cannot attend in a way that does not make them feel sad and is polite? Okay, so as you can see, the preparation time has started. Who are you speaking to? Your friend. Why are you speaking to them about the birthday party? Specifically, what do you need to tell them about it? That you can't attend. And you need to say it in a way that's polite. And this is an in person question. Okay, so let's just click to start. Hi, John. I'm so sorry. I know I was supposed to attend your birthday party this weekend, and I'm so grateful that you have invited me. Unfortunately, I have an essay that I really need to get done this weekend. I need it completed and submitted by Sunday night. I'm so sorry. I know I responded that I would come, but unfortunately, I've run out of time and I desperately need to get this essay done. I hope you have a wonderful birthday and I will be sending you a special present after the day. Thanks so much. I'm really sorry. That's it. Okay, so let's submit that and see how we went. As you can see, I did not have to write notes. I'm not going to use a template. I'm going to use exactly the information that was provided in the prompt. And let's see how I went. Oh, only four free recordings left. We'll see how we went. So who was I speaking to? My friend. Why was I speaking to him? About his birthday party. What specifically was the issue? That I could no longer attend. How is this being done? In person. Okay? And then ask. So usually there's no ask. In this one, there was no ask. So let's see how we went. But again, on test day, the prompt will be much longer. So we've got 89 out of 90, content 6 out of 6, pronunciation 88 out of 90, and fluency 90 out of 90. I am very happy with that score. Let's do another one. Okay, so let's do another one on ApeUni, and then I will move on to another platform. Let's do a injured classmate. Oh, that looks pretty difficult course. Let's do difficult course. Of course, my internet is slow, and the recording is going to start in a couple of seconds. Prep time has started. The recording will start. You have taken a course for 1 semester. Now your friend tells you they also want to take this course and asks for your advice. Since the course is too difficult, you do not recommend it. What should you say? So, who am I speaking to? A friend. Why am I speaking to this friend? Because they want to know about this course. What specifically about this course? You need to tell them that the course is too difficult and that you do not recommend it. How is this being done? In person. Is there an ask at the end? No, there's no ask because, again, on these platforms, the prompt is much shorter. Okay? On the test day, it'll be much longer, like the examples you find in the question bank for Pearson. Okay, so let's just get straight to it. Let's say my friend's name is Jane. Hi, Jane. Thanks for letting me know that you want to study the same course as me. So, this course, this business course, is really interesting, and I noticed that you wanted some advice. Unfortunately, I find that the course is just much too difficult and I don't recommend it for you. Honestly, it just takes up so much time. There are so many assignments, and I'm very, very confused most of the time. If I were you, I would take the next course, which is business basics. I think that might be a little bit better, and the teacher just seems so much more friendly as well. I hope this has been helpful. So, as you can see, I fumbled quite a bit. I, there's a lot of rubbish and there's a lot of waffling about a business course. Just make it up as you go. Okay, no templates required. 1 semester, so I might not get a full score for the content because I did not mention that it's 1 semester, but we'll see how we went. Again, who was I speaking to? I was speaking to Jane. I was talking to her about a business course and giving her advice about the business course and not recommending it. How was this done? It was being done in person. Okay. Was there an ask? No, there wasn't an ask because, as usual, it's not the same as the practice platform questions. Okay, we will move on to another question. Sorry, it's not the same as the question bank questions. We will move on to another practice platform. Here we are. So as you can see, 90 out of 90 for this one, and content 6 out of 6, pronunciation 90 out of 90, and fluency 90 out of 90. I'm really happy with that. Follow the method. Respond as you would in real life. Okay? So there's no complicated way of doing it. Who are you speaking to? Why are you speaking to them? What is it really about? How is this being done? And what needs to be done further? Okay, so the ask bit. There will be an ask in the end, but I've just left the screen up here for you to read the transcript of what I said. I hope that this has been helpful. Let's move on to another platform. PTE dashboard. I do not have a VIP membership as usual. That's okay. Let's just do one. I have never done this before. Okay, let's do food preference. Interesting. Okay. Okay, just skip this. Okay. Your friend wants to go to Anne's Cafe, which serves pizza and sandwiches, but you would like to try a different place with other dishes. How did you respond to your friend? Again, this is not how the question will be formatted on test day. There'll be lots more information. Okay, so who do you want to speak? Who are you speaking to? Some chick called. Let's call her Mary. And Mary wants to go to, why are you speaking to her? Mary wants to go to Anne's Cafe. What exactly do you need to tell her? You want to try something else with different dishes. How do we say it? In person. And what is the question? You are going to ask her for an alternative or offer her an alternative. Okay, so let's just get straight down to it. Click to start. Mary, I know I said I wanted to go to Anne's Cafe and their pizzas and their sandwiches are just amazing, but I was wondering if maybe we should try something different. I think I would really like to try some that serves different food and maybe try some other dishes. One place that I would really like to try is that new Thai place which serves amazing pad Thai. Would that be something you're interested in doing? I think we should definitely go and try out this place. It's called Special Thai Restaurant. Should we try it? What do you think? Okay, as you can see, I fumbled. There were a lot of gaps and pauses, but the score should be all right. Let's submit. I spoke for 33 seconds. The sweet spot is about 32 to 35 seconds. And hopefully we do pretty well. Who knows? Okay, so it gave me 86 out of 90. Content was 80 out of 90. Fluency 90 out of 90. And pronunciation 68 out of 90. Again, I'm not using a headset microphone. I'm actually really happy with that, no matter which way you look at it. A good microphone and how it's positioned plays an important role. Your response must not contain pauses that are 2 or more seconds in length. In general, I'm happy with it. Okay? So, as you can see, the method works. Who are you speaking to? Why are you speaking to them? What do you need to tell them? How is this conversation happening? And what is the ask? What is the response that you require from them? Okay, let's do another one on Alpha PTE and finish up. Last one of the day. Let's do a prediction: forgotten keys or injured classmate. Let's do injured classmate. Okay, your classmate's leg is injured, but he needs to return books to the library. You are planning You're planning to help him by returning the books. What would you say to him? So, who am I speaking to? I'm speaking to my classmate. Why am I speaking to him? His leg is injured. What is this about? He needs to return books to the library. How is this being done? The conversation is being done in person. And of course, what do I need to say to him? I need him to give me the books. Okay? All right, let's just click the start. Hi, John. I'm so sorry to hear that your leg is injured. Is it really badly sprained? Since today is Friday, I know it's library return day. Do you have any books that you need to return to the library? If you do, you can always hand them to me because I'm planning on helping you return them. And I can always carry as many books as you need me to. Do you have 5 books? What we can do is, when you're ready and you're done reading, just send me a text on my phone and I will come to your dorm room and collect the books from you to take back to the library. Thanks, John. Okay, so as you can see, I did make up some rubbish and there was a lot of fumbling. AlfaPTE might score me quite poorly, but hopefully the content is quite high. Fingers crossed. Oh, I only got 73. Why? So it gave me 49 out of 90 for content, 42 out of 90 for pronunciation, and fluency 90 out of 90. I'm not so sure about that. But in general, as you can see, who was I speaking to? John. I have acknowledged that his leg is injured. Is it really badly sprained? Library return day. Okay. I covered as much content as I believe I could. I don't think this was a well formatted question. Okay, as you can see, it's just 2 lines. It's not enough. But in general, you can see the method works. Who am I speaking to? Why am I speaking to them? What is this about? How is this conversation happening? And what is the final product? Ask, request. Okay? All right. So there you have it, folks. We have covered respond to a situation. I've practiced on 2 different platforms, AlfaPTE and ApeUni, and I didn't get the scores that I wanted on AlfaPTE, but that's okay. Remember that there are limitations in how these practice platforms formulate the questions. The real questions from the question bank are much longer with more detail. Remember the method: who, why, what, how, and what is the final request or ask. And that's it. I hope this has been helpful. I know that it is not an important question, it's not as important as others, but this is the one question that actually does test your English language proficiency. Okay, thank you so much for being here, and I'm sorry again for the 1 week delay. I hope to be back next week with, I don't know, leave me a comment. Tell me which one you want me to do all over again. I'm happy to start repeating as well. Okay, see you. Bye.